I don't know many people, but I have yet to have someone say to me that they don't like Welcome to the NHK. It's a great story in all its forms. The novel, anime, and manga are all well adapted to their respective mediums, and each explores different specifics within a consistent mainline theme. And when you ask someone why they like NHK, they'll probably say something along the lines of, "It's relatable," or "I see myself in Sato," or "It gives me hope for my own life." All of these examples are completely true and relevant not only to anime fans in particular, but to anyone struggling with stagnation or mediocrity in their lives. But what does NHK mean to me, personally? Now, I've never considered myself an otaku, much less a hikikomori. I don't spend as much time as some other people do immersing myself in Japanese popular culture, and I'm pretty sure I've watched less anime than most people who write or talk about the subject. The following doesn't at all correlate with my previous sentence, but I've always had goals for myself, and while I have felt and no doubt will feel overwhelmed by school, personal relationships, or work, I've never really felt lost. That is, I've never felt like I wasn't working towards something that I wanted. So on that level, I can't truly empathize with Sato. Sympathy, that's a different story, but not empathy. Not when it comes to his situation. But I still do empathize with NHK, and I wasn't quite sure why for a long time, but now I think I know. In Robert McKee's wonderful book, Story, the central tenet is, story is a metaphor for life. And this idea of what fiction is, summed up in just a few words, is truly exemplified in Welcome to the NHK. See, for me, NHK isn't actually about Sato's struggle with being a hikikomori. That's just a label, a Japanese colloquialism, if you will. Let me explain. Throughout NHK, Sato meets various individuals who sit at points in their lives that are undoubtedly negative. Group suicide, multi-level marketing schemes, pressure from your parents. The characters that form the arcs of NHK are flawed, and incredibly so. But NHK presents each of these people as worthy of understanding. There's always a caveat to their flaws, and after you spend a few episodes or chapters with them, it becomes obvious that NHK wants you to gain an appreciation for what they're going through, or what they've gone through. And NHK loves its irony. Avatar said it well, when we hit our lowest point, we are open to the greatest change. NHK adheres to this principle constantly, and not just dramatically, comedically as well. Hitomi can't get over the fear that the greater world is plotting to ruin her, and so she decides to end her life. But only when she's just about to take the final step does she come to the realization that life is in fact worth living. Kobayashi Megumi sacrifices her respectability to support her brother, but after her company is caught, she can finally begin anew. And Yuichi in turn is forced to get a job because while his sister is in prison, he almost starves. Yamazaki is forced to give up his education, his project, and his independence when he returns home to oversee his family business, but in the process he finds a partner, the one thing he truly wanted. And Misaki only overcomes her feelings of self-hatred when Sato stops her from killing herself. The concept of redemption is vital to NHK. It disregards questions like, whose fault is it that so-and-so's life turned out this way? There's no answer to that question, and more importantly, it doesn't even matter. I didn't mention Sato above, and there's a good reason why. Sato is different from all the other characters, not simply because he's the main character, but also because he doesn't really go through a definite arc of low point to bottom point to redemption.